Alright, alright. Can everyone hear me? Alright, alright. Still getting used to this, so let's do the intro, shall we? Welcome to Army of Snarkness. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great, and I've been joined by my normal co-hosts. Sitting across from me at the... I don't know why I put him in front of the board with all the buttons, but he's there. Sitting across me from on the board is the man, the myth, the monster. Ladies and gentlemen, get prepared. He's 3 men in one. The trio. How's it going?
What's up, everyone? How's everybody doing tonight?
And on my left, if you thought Death rode a white horse, you'd be wrong. She actually drives a Shelby. Not to mention, she also plays a mean guitar. The fourth rider of the apocalypse, Death! How's it going, Sarah?
It's going quite well. You seem to be having a rough start there, Antoine.
I'm still getting used to all of this stuff that Sparky put on this damn broadcast equipment.
Aren't you supposed to be a cyber demon? Shouldn't this be, like, second nature to you?
He used some weird operating system. It's not my fault.
Is that your fault?
No, it's not. So, this is a new layout for me. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. I'm still learning it. Hopefully things will get changed. Who do we got here? We have, hello, how's it going, Cadantris? Ray Martinez is here. Zar's here. Renolations, how's it going, gorgeous? Trashfire's here. Wow, we have a busy house already.
You would think they've missed you or something.
I know, right? So,
You need to stop dodging.
I'm not dodging. Oh, ha ha ha.
Now he gets it.
Welcome back to Help for the Guildless, everyone. I finally got this up and running again. YouTube finally took away that nasty community strike, and I can talk to you all like I've never been gone. So, I hope for a fact that all of you did your homework, like I asked a couple of weeks ago, because that's what we're here for. Now, I'd like to make a little statement here, real quick. During this, it's not an AMA, because it's not Ask Me Anything, so AUA, you will not be getting answers from the people behind the characters. You'll be talking to us directly. So, when you ask me a question, you're going to be talking to Antoine, not Matt. When you ask a question to Sarah, it's going to be Sarah answering. And when you ask the trio something, good God, good luck to you. I don't know which one you're going to get, but it's not going to be from the person behind the mask. Now that we have that out of the way, how was your guys' week before we start getting bombarded with questions?
My week was quiet, except for the part where you gave Moxley £200 of C4 without instructions. That wasn't smart.
I didn't think he was going to take the entire lot. I thought he was going to take a little bit of it, and he's got this whole thing where he's running around in a suit that is called the Antoine suit. It's all black.
The Spider-Mox suit.
No, it's not the Spider-Mox suit. It's all black and has red eyes.
You lost the bet. Be graceful about it.
Saying it's hard to hear you, Sarah. Give me just a second here.
Is this better, Loki?
I'm just going to raise your volume there, darling. That should be good. I didn't lose anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
You lost the bet!
No, I didn't. It's a black suit with red eyes on it. On top of that, he has been dressing up as me, regardless of the fact that we asked him to do it, to distract people. So he's been Discount Antoine, and now he has an actual suit that makes him Discount Antoine.
The bet was that you would The two of you would call it whichever one won us some sort of wrestling contest, I suppose. He won, you lost.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ugh.
So, how about you, trio? Who's out right now? Is it Drake? Is it Zach? Is it
The
Shade?
local vampiric
Oh,
government has
God.
not been kind to me lately.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, it's something to do with trying to make other members of the non-vampiric government part of the vampiric government, but that's not the point right now. It's been difficult. I'm in one of those transitional periods. So at the moment, I am looking for a domicile that is not too far away from food sources, but also not too close to food sources. There's a balance.
You
Has to
do know we have a fridge for you in the hideout.
I'm not a fan of frozen food.
Okay. I can't argue with that, honestly. I'm assuming you like I'm assuming you like your food at a nice and warm 98.6 degrees.
Roughly between 97.3 and 101 is usually good.
Oh. I didn't know you went down to that kind of up to that kind of temperature.
Sometimes the fever gives it a kick.
Add a little bit of spice.
Not like actual spice like pepper was. More like spice like caliente. But yeah.
I mean, well, Ali, I don't think that's what he means, Ali. Says, wait, Zach is transitioning. Congratulations, girl.
Oh, no, not like that. Transitioning from one household to another household. We're pretty comfortable in the body we're in, so we're not really looking at changing that anytime soon. I mean, we could with flesh crafting, but that just gets weird really fast.
I'm sure it does.
I mean, my organs still have to stay somewhere when I flesh craft them, and just there are certain things in a female body that just don't correlate properly.
Your organs don't work.
My organs work just fine. Just not the way your organs work.
I don't have any.
And how would you know since you're not even a human, or a vampire, or alive?
I'm alive.
Does it bother you that you're more soulless than I am?
I've never really contemplated that.
I'll let you think about that for a while. Get back to me when you're ready to have a philosophical conversation.
Zach, I really don't want to have an existential crisis while we're broadcasting.
Seems a little late for that. Are we doing this Ask Us Anything thing or what?
Yes. I do want to make a couple of announcements first. Is that okay?
And I have one, if you wouldn't object.
It's not okay, but go ahead.
Alright, go ahead, Sarah. You can go first.
Well, do you remember the little doll I told you about? The one that I met in Costco? The little possessed one that was scurrying around the books, straightening them up, threatening to stab people who are messing with them?
Yes.
Yes, she's still in need of help to get a car, so she doesn't have to take the bus anymore, and people stop trying to pick her up and play a tea party with her. It's the body count's just getting ridiculous at this point. But if anyone would be interested in helping, it would be very nice. And I just tried to put the link in the chat, and it says I can't.
That's because you need to type something in the chat, Sarah, first, so I can make you a mod. I mean, this is at the point in time where, you know, if it was Zach,
There
yes,
you are. How's that?
that's yeah, perfect, wonderful. There, now you can post your link.
Good. But for the safety of the people on the buses, it would be nice if you could all help Safi out. Plus, she's a very interesting character. It's not often you meet a possessed doll, even in my line of work.
Okay. Yes, I upped the volume, Loki. He isn't talking right now, so that's why you can't hear him. So, here is a couple of announcements. Because we are back on Help the Guildless, that wonderful little button down there with the $ sign on it is called a Super Chat. If you would like to ask a specific question, you can go ahead and do that, and it'll be answered in a timely manner. Or you can try and wade through and have people ask as many questions as you want. And then there's also a Streamlabs link that I'm going to put in there. This is just specifically for you guys if you want to help support the channel. If, and I do mean if, it starts happening, I may actually be able to pay them in some of this universe's real-world money. They don't like
No.
universal credits.
No, you're not supposed to be paying me in money. You're supposed to be paying me in precious metals.
Wait, Ren is naked?
Well, there goes the end of that conversation.
What, you were saying something, Sarah?
No, go ahead. Drool.
Okay.
I'll wait until you get one of your heads working properly.
Alright. So, as I stated before, I hope you all did your homework. Ask away. The floor is yours, henchman. We are willing to answer pretty much anything. I'm pretty much... I know for a fact I'm shameless. Shade is definitely shameless, and Sarah blushes wonderfully. So go ahead and ask.
I do not blush.
Let's see. From Ray Martinez, what's Antoine's perspective on universal income and the rippling effects it may have on multivariable economic equation? Well, we are starting with a heavy hitter, aren't we? Universal income...
Well, if you want time to think about that, I actually have 3 questions that were asked of me already in the chat.
Were they?
Yeah, I recorded them.
Okay, well, what are they? Go ahead.
And they are all asked of me specifically. So, Kadant would like to know, is the vampirical government part of the humanarchy? No, obviously not. It's the vampirical government. They cannot, by definition, be part of the humanarchy as they are an oppressed people. Would like to know if I am a transformer. Not in the robotic, robots in disguise sense. But I mean, I could become someone else for a while if I really thought about it enough. And then Allie would like to know if I can fleshcraft her a cock so she can love a lady good. I mean, theoretically, it might be painful though. Also, if you've never had an erection, you're probably very confused. It's hard to think when you have one of those, There's not enough blood in the body to run more than one of them at a time.
See, look, Zach, Ray has found you out. You're Optimus Prime.
No, that's not true. I kind of wish I was sometimes. Then I'd be like several stories tall and able to throw things across time and space and whatnot. And no, I'm also not trans. Again, very comfortable in the male body I currently have.
So to answer the universal... Jesus Christ. To answer the universal income and the rippling effects it may have on multivariable income equation, I don't have a problem with universal income. I use universal credits. They're accepted everywhere, except in certain dimensions, besides my own. And it didn't have a rippling effect, as it were, especially when the credit system came online. People liked that they could go to any country and actually spend the money that they had. I mean, credits were not taken into consideration for like the conversion rates. It was you got what you got, and you could convert it to universal credits, or you could keep it in the denomination of money that you had when you started. So $2 from Slayer Raven. It says, I accept payment in souls only. I didn't know I was... Are we paying Slayer Raven?
Is he part of the Army of Snarkness?
Not that I know of. I thought he was a henchman as well. Did someone promote him without my knowledge?
I have done nothing of the sort this time.
Oh, this time. Well, at least I know it's this time.
I mean, usually it's my fault. I mean, let's be realistic here.
That's very true. Where is at Tom Leach? I would like him for him to do a thing. You know what? I don't know. He usually shows up for these things, but he's usually late. Oh, Moxley's in the chat. Mox, do you enjoy running around in the Antoine suit?
It is not the Antoine suit.
It is the Antoine suit.
Your ego knows no bounds.
You're right. Is Kadant allowed to push buttons? No. That's why she's not in the broadcast booth at the current moment. Sparky ended up giving me the control manual for the broadcast booth. If you stacked 9 Bibles back to back on top of each other, it would still be smaller than the amount of instructions this stupid thing has for it.
It's complicated. After all, look what you did to poor Ishtar when you were on her stream poking buttons.
I got sent into a goddamn video game.
Serves you right.
I didn't know the black button was going to summon the marionette. I had to chase her for 3 blocks.
I imagine it spooked her.
Probably.
All 3 of you, what are drugs like in your dimension? What's your favorite? Can I have the recipe?
I take offense.
Why?
Because there's 5 of us here.
Well, the other 2 aren't talking right now, Zach. It's
This
just you, so
person
there's...
is purposely excluding other individuals. I require to know if he's a radical non-human anarchist or a human anarchist.
To answer your question on my end, Ray, drugs are very similar to what you would find here in San Angeles. I do not have a favorite as I do not do drugs. And no.
Let's see. The one that's very popular right now is Black Lace. I've never used it, so I don't know what it is. There is pot, coke, heroin, meth. I mean, it's pretty much... Black Lace is this new designer drug, so if you want to talk to someone, he's on my Discord. His name is Razril. He's actually a dealer. You might want to talk to him. And then before we'll answer Trashfire, and then we'll answer Loki. Trashfire, Antoine, is it better to slay one's enemies or to hear the lamentations of their women? Well, I know for a fact that after I've slain my enemies, their women don't lament very long.
They yawn and fall asleep.
Or kill themselves.
Do I have to mention again that you and I broke a bed trying to have
are we
fun?
still going on about this?
Oh, for God's sake. Antoine, yours was not the first bed I broke.
Well, like it wasn't even broken out of like extreme rigorous activity either. It was broken because Antoine weighs several thousand pounds. So,
I do not.
like-
I'm a very slim 250. Thank you.
Right. Anyway, the bed broke because it was a crappy bed, not because anything crazy was happening on it. We've already dissected the story 1,000 times, and there are questions in the chat. Let's move on to the questions in the chat.
Okay, so Loki asks, are we getting a new villain soon? Well, that would be kind of hard because the villains are gone. So no, we will not be getting a new villain soon. I am still checking the algorithm every once in a while to see if it leads me to anyone interesting to try and bring them on here, but it has yet to find anybody. So that's kind of why I have a question mark there. We are still kind of looking.
I
Mox,
was not allowed to answer what kind of drugs I prefer.
Okay, what kind of drugs do you prefer?
Blood.
That's not a drug.
You ever have blood?
I don't eat people.
You ever been a vampire and have blood? Blood's a drug.
I don't
The best kind is either Fae or werewolf. You gotta be careful with both of those though, because that's some wild shit. If you take enough Fae blood, then you can like see the future and shit. And I don't mean like some LSD acid trip. I mean, actually see the future. Of course, you see it in like, vectors and, color smells and things like that. So it's a little confusing, but trust me, it's good shit.
Okay.
If you drink werewolf blood, then you have a really interesting propensity that's like PCP for people. You just go completely fucking ballistic berserker mode and kill everything around you. It's pretty interesting. I don't recommend it. Most vampire bodies are not actually able to handle a lot of werewolf blood. It kind of makes us explode from the inside.
I think
Oh.
I think you created a new term there, Zach. Trashfire says faded. F-A-Y.
Yeah, that's about right. That's pretty correct, actually. Well done.
Yes. Moxley has a real quick question. Can I have a raise? We don't pay you, Mox, so the answer is no. How's it going, Bloodletter? Jacob?
Ren asked if the bed was from IKEA. No, that means he actually spent decent amount of money on it.
No, the bed wasn't from IKEA. The bed was from Target. He had it on layaway for months.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily a question, but Jacob says your avatar creeps him out with its animation. God damn it, Kadant! She's in the kitchen again.
Don't worry, Rena will fix it again. If she's still around.
Why is my door broken, Kadant? I don't know. Is it because you kicked it in?
She said that.
Yeah, but
right
she
there.
said it before she asked the question.
Who cares? She's clearly getting drunk.
When is she not?
Don't fucking question her.
Beg your pardon?
Don't question Kadant. She's clearly doing whatever she wants to do. This is a good thing.
Yes, I know. I'm rather fond of Kadant.
There are no questions for us in the chat again. I'm very sad.
Well, I mean,
was expecting just an endless run of questions, and instead we get nothing. Oh, there's one from Ray Martinez. He wants to know which media personality we each of us would like to see sacrificed.
Go. You read it. Go ahead, Zach. You first.
Snooky.
Nope, that's a good answer.
I don't really like Oompa Loompas. Never been a fan of them.
I don't think she's necessarily an Oompa Loompa.
Have you seen that bitch?
All right, that's a very good point. Very good point.
She's clearly a fucking Oompa Loompa.
I cannot argue that. She is very, very orange.
What about you two? Media personalities you would like to see sacrificed? Don't think so hard. Go with your gut.
Kim Kardashian.
Why?
Because it's Kim Kardashian. Why not?
She's cute when she's not wearing makeup.
No. Have
you ever seen her without makeup?
Yes.
She's not bad looking. I'm not saying she's super attractive. She's just not bad looking.
That doesn't guarantee her survival.
I know, but there's other people I'd kill first.
She's the first one I thought of.
But that works then.
So, okay, so it's up to me. There's a couple I wouldn't mind having wiped off the face of the planet.
Jim Carrey.
I was just going to say that. He's kind of gone crazy. And, I'm not... No offense to you, Trio. But I mean,
There's crazy and there's crazy. We don't believe in socialism.
Yeah, he's very crazy. Jim or Sargon? Okay, now they are asking questions. All right. Who does Zack share a body with? Well, they haven't come out yet, but Drake and Shade are in there. That's why I call them the trio. There's 3 in 1. The man, the myth, and the marshmallow. So, Jim or Sargon?
Frankly, I don't know Jim well enough to say anything. I've always been a fan of Sargon's work, but I also know Sargon has some problems. His ego is pretty big, And quite frankly, he's an awful, awful debater. The only debate I've ever seen him do really well in was the one with Thomas Smith back in 2017, which is fucking glorious, by the way. If you ever want to see Sargon just obliterate a jackass on an SJW position, go ahead and watch it. But generally speaking, like I said, I'm more in the Sargon camp, but solely because I don't know anything about Jim.
Yeah, I would have to say I like Sargon more. And then Sarah's going to remain silent because she has no idea who we're talking about.
Oh, Jim was Slayer Raven was groomed by Jim. Oh, that's very sad.
Loki asks, who is the best Antoine? Antoine or Moxley? Well, that...
Moxley.
Why? Of course you would say that.
Look, have you ever fought Venom in a crowded city street?
I didn't even know Venom was around.
He clearly was. He attacked Spider-Mox. I was there. I saw the whole thing.
It was fairly impressive, and the actual casualties were pretty low. I was very impressed.
Oh, no, Ren, you're asking a question that I wanted to bring up, but I forgot this was the Ask Me Anything. Zach, what?
I think it's a weak and feeble attempt to act more like your superiors.
There you go. I didn't even get to ask the question.
I've been waiting for it to be acknowledged and it enrages me.
Alright, so the question is, because if Sarah wants to answer as well, if she has an opinion, is what do you think about humans getting vampire facials?
Humans are just looking for faster and more interesting ways to die and make my life more busy.
Rage! All of my hate. Trashfire said something funny.
So, well, I'm going back and looking through the questions, so I'm not necessarily...
That's fine, I'll let you know what he said. Trashfire says Kim Kardashian's alright looking for a dude.
So, we have a question for Drake. What's it like living with Zach and Shade, and then asks Shade the same question?
What's it like living with Zach? It's a pretty constant free-for-all of nonsense. I spend most of my time dealing with Shade and Zach and trying to balance the two of them out in the incredible stupidity they usually get us into. As far as what's like living with Zach, imagine you live with a 12-year-old, maybe a 13-year-old, whose mind and mentality is strong enough that it warps reality to whatever he wants it to be, but he doesn't quite understand that that's what he's doing. And you have to clean up his messes.
That's why he suddenly has a spaceship.
Yeah, basically. As for how Shade feels, it's a waking fucking nightmare every goddamn second I'm alive. Unalive. Definitely alive. Whatever.
How's it going,
I don't
Shade?
give a fuck.
Shade, there is actually a question for you. It's from it's from Kadant. Apparently she's stuck in all caps. Shade, why are you such a dick? Drake, how did you get stuck with a dick like Shade? And Zach, you're a sweetheart and I adore you.
Because I'm the fucking monster of the group, that's why. Out of the three of us, I'm the only one who doesn't have a problem being a font monster. The rest of them have some kind of fucking hang-ups about it. I don't. It's that fucking simple. As for how I got stuck with a dick like Shade, Shade's got it pretty much on point. We're a balanced creature. Zach is the whimsical, I'm the center point, Shade's the monster.
And thank you. I know I'm a sweetheart and everyone should adore me, as is my right.
And we do.
The question...
What is your favorite shade of white from Bloodletter?
The fuck kind of question is that?
I personally prefer Snow White, with a Silver White as a follow-up.
Bone.
Bone White?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That fresh kind of bone white, too, right after you finish ripping all the flesh off of a skeleton.
I prefer off-white.
Is that like a talk about your love life or something? Off?
Moving on.
I'm just saying.
Loki asks, is it hard work? This is apparently for you four. Is it hard working for Antoine when he does not pay people? Except I pay people. Sarah, I pay you in precious metals. Zach, Trio, I have paid you in people.
It's actually not too annoying working for Antoine. He does pay us, and usually when I tell him to fuck off,
Wait, when
He
did you get
does.
paid?
I got paid last week. We both.
I still haven't gotten paid.
You have a fridge full of people for you to
but
munch on.
Somebody else got you for me. So the pirate ship I was promised, somebody else got it.
I did not promise you a pirate ship.
Somebody
I
else
bought
got
you.
it.
I bought you a very nice pirate hat.
Every single where? I never saw it.
That's.
Every
It's in
single
your room.
goddamn thing you've promised me, I haven't gotten. You son of a bitch. And you also missed a question from Jacob Navo. He wants to know how's the housing situation.
Yes, but he
In
asked.
a word, shit.
Yes, but he didn't ask the trio. He asked AntiHero.
It doesn't matter. I'll still answer the question. It's the same answer. Shit.
Okay.
Shit. Also shit.
From Ray Martinez again. Again to all of you. What is your favorite timeline, and what is it like?
What does he mean?
I think he's talking about time travel. Now, I'm working on that teleporter that you guys got the blueprints on. I keep having rats getting cut in half, so it's a little bit harder than I thought. Time travel has yet to affect me, so... But I think that's more of a question to Sarah.
What?
Spider Mox.
Haven't you...
Does whatever Spider Mox does. Can he swing from a web? Bet your ass that he can. Look out! Here comes Spider Mox.
Are you done?
It was in the chat.
I see that.
I thought we were supposed to be reading the chat.
What was the question you were asking me, Antoine?
What's your favorite timeline, and what is it like?
I haven't jumped through timelines.
Oh, well, see, then none
It's
of us...
not something I have the ability to do.
There's a... Kadant has a couple of questions for you, Drake. The first one is, fuck me, question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one was easy answered. And then Drake, her, Kadant, or Reyna?
They're all mine.
Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. Antoine, who's better, Zach or Drake? Well, that's an easy question for me. I like Drake a lot more than I like Zach. I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't like Zach all that much.
That's because I give him absolutely no slack.
No, you said I was part of the humanarchy when I'm not even human.
Play-Doh. I rest my case.
That's not necessarily a question, Ren, but I will agree to that. You guys answer some questions. I'm going to go to the kitchen real quick.
Good answer. She jumps through so many timelines she could drown a toddler in her panties. If you couldn't die, what poison would you try first?
Well, first, there is a super chat question from Slayer Raven. It says, where's the damn pirate ship that was promised? He got a pirate ship, it turned into a space pirate ship, and it's been hovering in orbit around the Earth.
It didn't turn into a space pirate ship. Draconath was kind enough to build it as a space pirate ship because he automatically assumed that I would have to conquer the unknown seas of the universe. You couldn't even get me a pirate hat, you son of a bitch.
It's in your room.
Yeah, I didn't see it. How'd it get in my room, huh?
Because it's
How did it get in my room,
because
huh?
it's my hideout.
So you put it in my room, huh?
Yes.
So you put it in my room. You went into my room. I had a human anarchist ally in my room? What the fuck? Do I not get a lock?
As
That's it. Note to self, get better locks that don't have Antoine in them. God damn it.
Can we answer the questions that are in the chat finally?
I have to sweep my room for bugs.
Trust me, Zach. He's not bugging your room or putting cameras in it. You don't have the right curvature for the perv to do that.
Oh, thank
Your
God.
abs are absolutely gorgeous, Sarah. That's all I have to
Oh,
say.
thank God. This is so fucking creepy.
So what blood... I know Sarah read this out already, but Bloodletter asks, if you couldn't die, what poison would you try first?
Iocane powder.
Huh.
It's odorless, tasteless, and dissolves instantly in most liquids.
Sarah?
Arsenic. I like the smell of almonds.
Cyanide.
That one too.
Loki says, what do you do with Spanky as a sex robot? I don't have a sex robot, and I don't know anyone named Spanky.
He means Sparky. I speak Loki.
Oh.
He refers to Sparky. He would like to know what you do with Sparky when Sparky's in his sex robot mode. And don't...
Sparky doesn't have a sex robot mode.
Bullshit, you made him!
I didn't make him, I found him!
You fucking... Wait, so what, like Chobits?
He was in a dumpster on the side of the road.
You found him in an alley somewhere, you took him home and put your hand in his crotch and turned him on?
That's not what happened, no.
That's what happened in Chobits.
This is not a manga.
I read the shit out of that manga. It's amazing. The artwork is fantastic. Go Clamp. Did you or did you not put your hand in Sparky's no-no places to turn him back on?
No, I didn't.
Don't fucking lie to us. We know the truth. Somebody ask that in the chat. Ask Antoine that question. Moving on. Next question.
Rose Lalonde asks, we space wenches now.
No, Little J Moxley had a question.
I'm passing that one up.
No, you can't pass it up. It's a question.
So, is the timeline jumping thing the reason I'm blonde now and have spider powers? No, Moxley, the reason you're blonde now is because you turned gay, and you have spider powers because you've been playing too many video games.
No, Moxley, Antoine is lying to you, and you're also wrong. The reason you have spider powers and are blonde now is because I decided you did.
So Ray Martinez says, to all five, what are your heretical texts, and have you read them?
Twilight.
And yes, Rose, you're a space wench.
You don't get much more heretical than Twilight.
Heretical text, and have you read them?
50 Shades of Grey, and not yet.
I've read several manuals on the Black Crusade, and also 3 or 4 books dedicated to the ruinous powers. It was a rough moment in my childhood.
We all have them.
Fermion asks, what's happening?
Nothing.
We are answering questions from you, the henchman, and being as honest as possible, with Zach going off the rails every 5 seconds. How did Sparky become a sex robot then? I don't know. Ask him.
Well, you know what? I did ask Sparky that one time while I was a little bit drunk. I said, Sparky, Sparktopus, why the fuck are you Mr. Fisto? And Sparky, in a tearful, speech impediment way, went, I don't know, I am Mr. Fisto. I went to sleep in Antoine's room and woke up and he was riding me.
You know what? I'm going to go find Sparky. And you know what? I'm going to bring him here so he can answer the question.
Oh, no one cares.
Because you're lying, and I don't... You're lying and you're trying to exaggerate.
Fun fact, the entire chat believes I'm telling the truth. And because I've just said it's the truth, it's now the truth.
Death, who was the first person you helped pass on?
Oh, there's a real question.
That was a good one. Let's see. Enemy or actual person that I took the name of? Because it was an enemy I don't know. I never really bothered to have them pass on. I just kicked them out of the way and kept going. But there was a military gentleman who was a friend of my adopted father's. His name was Sergeant James, I know that that sounds ridiculous. Sergeant James was a wonderful man, and he was very old. He was passing on just out of normal causes, and I was assigned to go and take him. And he saw me when I came in, and instead of fighting or anything like that, he asked me if I wanted to hear a story. I was intrigued, so I said yes. I sat down, and he started telling me some of the stories of his life. When he got tired, I left and I told him I would be back tomorrow. So I went back the next day, and the exact same thing happened. He offered to tell me a story first, and I had enjoyed the first story, so I sat down and I listened. And this became a pattern for us. It made the nurses a little nervous because no one else could see me. But he talked and told me about the woman he fell in love with, their children, the adventures that he's had with his children. It was absolutely wonderful. And I made sure to note them all down because it really was an extraordinary life, in my opinion. And unfortunately, I do not have the manuscript here. It's back home. But when he ran out of stories, I asked him if he had any more. He said, "No, I've told you everything and I'm ready to go now." I said, "All right. You'd better call your family then. I'll wait until they get here." And I did. I stayed with him until his family arrived. He was able to say goodbye. And then I just reached over and took him out of his body. And when he came out of his body, he was not an old, frail man. He was actually a very handsome man, rather broad-shouldered, more like you would expect to see someone who was a hard laborer all his life, worked on a farm or in some sort of trade, something like that. He was very peaceful about going. He was very happy. I still think of him from time to time. He earned his place in his afterlife. It was a good one.
Okay. Well, that was sappy and romantic. Well, here's another question for you. There's a couple for you, specifically, Sarah. Sarah,
What?
from Kadant. How can you deal with these boys?
Violence, alcohol, and occasionally I'll take one of them to bed.
And then, Sweet Death. This is from Chris Fisk. Sweet Death, when will your sisters be on the stream?
My sisters will not be on the stream, because if we get them on the stream, nobody else will be able to say a word edgewise. Especially once War starts talking. She loves the attention.
Pretty sure it's a filthy lie, but all right.
What?
Nobody stops Zach from talking if he wants to talk.
My sisters! Not you.
Nobody stops Zach from talking when he wants to talk.
Well, we weren't talking about Zach. They would just
they
would talk over each other. It would be annoying as shit.
You mean like most of our streams?
Well, I don't consider most of the streams annoying as shit.
I'm just not allowed to bring on that Opal person anymore.
No, you're not.
Kelly L. for Sarah. Why are you a godsend?
Because I'm the only female on this team, and I'm the only one with a rational mind.
Otherwise, it will be a sausage fest.
That too.
She's our token female.
From Kadant, Antoine, in all caps, apparently her button is stuck. Why are you a human anarchist ally, you homunculus fuck? I am not a human anarchist ally. For the 800th time. And I'm not a homunculus either, thank you.
Can you prove that?
Yes.
Can you prove either of those things?
Yes.
Empirically?
Yes.
Right now?
No.
Oh? So you can't actually prove it then?
Zach, we're a little busy. He can prove it to you later.
I don't trust that. So Loki in the chat says, "Do we need to save money to get Sparky help from being a slave of Antoine's and use a sex bot?" Yes. Yes,
he is not a sex bot.
Please donate to the Streamlabs. If you'll go ahead and put that in the chat there, Antoine. That money will be going towards Sparky and getting him reprogrammed to be his own person.
He is his own person.
Clearly not, since you're using him as a sex slave on a nightly basis.
Not
Sometimes
nightly.
twice a day.
The more you react to it, the more he runs away with it.
I
All
know.
Streamlab donations will go to helping Sparky be a chaste robot.
Ray Martinez asks, will each of you participate in the Dark Harvest, and what do you look forward to doing during that Dark Harvest?
Dark
What?
Harvest? What the fuck is a Dark Harvest?
Yeah,
This
what-
sounds a lot like a way to not get food later.
Yeah, what's a Dark Harvest? Zar asks, what's a homunculus?
What is it, Antoine?
So, a homunculus...
It's a slutty homunculus.
Yeah, Antoine.
Which
Problem
I
solved.
am not a homunculus, and I'm not a whore.
You're right. He's a slutmonculus. My bad.
Ghost Dog says, Sarah, what do your sisters ride?
Men.
Well, from time to time, yes.
Also horses.
No, none of us are really, well,
I meant the dick.
oh. So do you want me to answer that question seriously, or do you want to make jokes?
I always like to make jokes, but go ahead and answer it seriously.
Well, Carrie tends to prefer motorcycle. Plague prefers a motorcycle. War generally prefers a jeep. And, well, Famine sort of changes based on whether or not her wife is with her. If her wife is with her, it's something practical. If her wife isn't with her, it's usually a motorcycle or something like that.
Okay.
So, Fermion would like to know if we can just pass around the sex robot using that money.
No.
You would have to ask Sparky, but he's not a sex robot.
No, look, I just heard Sarah say no, and you said you have to ask Sparky, which implies that he is in fact a sex robot.
If he wants
Just
to get
admit
passed
that he
around,
isn't
it's up
that.
to him.
Then-
From Kadant to all of us, why am I turned on?
I can answer that question.
Because she likes
I just answered the
Confident.
question.
confrontation.
No, I literally just answered the question by saying that I could answer the question. It's this right here, the sound of my voice, the fact of my presence. That alone is enough to turn her on. She could drown a small animal in her panties right now. In fact, her dog should be careful.
Ew.
Just saying.
That's gross.
I know when panties that are connected to me spiritually are wet. That's all I'm saying.
Again, with the ew.
Mm.
You know,
Oh, you people talk about your broken bed all day long. I can't have a little action on my own side.
you
Shut
are...
up.
You...
I do not speak of the broken bed. Antoine
just did.
brings it up.
You just did.
Ray Martinez says the Dark Harvest is when we begin to start to harvest human souls. So basically, Ray Martinez, the Dark Harvest is the apocalypse. Which, if that's the case, my role's pretty thoroughly defined, thank you.
Which is why she doesn't want to start it, because it takes away from the books.
And
We prefer to avoid the apocalypse if we can help it. Apocalypse means no more food.
It's true.
the apocalypse is not the great thing that everyone makes it out to be. It's not something dramatic like it is on the TV shows. It's actually really boring and very hard work.
So, Bloodletter is asking about the broken bed.
Oh god.
Nobody gives a damn.
It's a question in the chat.
It's not a question in the chat. He just wants to egg people on. Stop it. You're done.
Oh, like everyone else.
Good fucking God. Choose a different way to egg them on. Go back to talking about Play-Doh or something. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, the broken bed is Sarah was having a very...
God damn it.
Sarah got into a fight with the Ideal for the first time, and she was... what's a good way of putting it? She was horny. And I was awake.
Tactful.
I was awake, because I was working on things, and next thing I know, I get dragged into my room, we start fooling around, roughly, and the bed broke. And then she left. That's what happened with the broken bed.
Yes.
In other words, a whole lot of nothing.
Kelly L. says, as long as I die by the hand of Sarah, the apocalypse will be fine by me.
Oh my god, what a fucking suck up.
Well, should I actually be assigned to be the Grim Reaper for you, Kelly? That shouldn't be a problem.
Here we go. Moxley has another really good question. What is the IDL and why did I have to distract them? Moxley, the IDL stands for the Internet Defense League. In this dimension, the dimension that we are broadcasting from, in 1996, there was a threat that went against the president, and it was brought on by what was dubbed Black Hats. They were people who were using the internet for whatever they wanted. It was like the Wild West. They were the quote-unquote bad guys. The Internet Defense League was formed to basically wrangle them and keep them under control. Well, the IDL started creating white hats. Those were the people who used the internet normally, looking for news, watching shows, everything like that. The IDL soon became extremely powerful with their workings of the internet and became an actual government body. And through manipulation of, well, what could I say, lesser minds, they got people to start voting in certain types of laws, which is why we are using this as a pirate broadcast, because free speech is no longer free. And unfortunately, that's why you had to distract them. They are basically trying to find this hideout to try and stop us. And we sent you out to destroy a few things to keep them off of our trail. But that's who the IDL are. They are a totalitarian government that is bent on taking over the US. And, unfortunately, they quite possibly might have gotten a hold of the technology to portal jump.
Really? How did you let them have that?
It wasn't me.
Then where did they get it from? You sent us to steal it.
No, I sent you to steal the teleporter. I'm talking about the same technology that I used from Sparky. Apparently, they already knew about.
Oh,
So, that's why we're here. We're trying to broadcast to other dimensions to tell people to knock this shit off and don't let it happen.
Kadant wants to know why her bed is better than Broke Twan's. Probably because you didn't buy it at Target.
I didn't buy a bed at Target? What's wrong with you?
Many things. Do you really want the list?
It's a long list of things that are wrong with you.
Honestly, yes, but that's beside the point.
Kadant asks, who do you prefer? Kadant, director, or Raina?
All three. For different reasons. It's like choosing between different types of chocolate. They all have their wonderful flavor. They're all individual.
I just want to thank Ghost Dog for tipping.
Thank you, Ghost Dog.
Tip more next time, asshole.
So charming.
He is.
So why did we decide to let Antoine take over on this stream today? Because we were fucking busy, that's why. Antoine does really good job on running things, and I really just don't give enough of a fuck to actually set this shit up. He's way better at that than we are. It's a detail-oriented job, and I prefer to hit things with large objects.
So the tip from Ghost Dog was a question. Ghost Dog asks, am I, Sarah, and the trio going to do something for Samhain, aka Halloween?
I don't recall us having discussed it.
I don't have a problem with that. We can talk about something doing for Halloween.
I plan to go to Salem,
You're going to Salem.
in Massachusetts.
What happens there?
It's one of the few places in the world where I don't have to worry about what I look like.
That makes sense.
I can look like anything, and people go missing all the time.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes. I don't know if I have anything planned for Halloween. And sorry, Kadant, I didn't mean to not answer your question. I like all of them. I kind of agree with Sarah.
Zell would like to know what the fuck are we on about. I don't know. I don't pay attention through most of this.
We've explained it to you 4 times, Zach. We're having an AMA so that people can get to know us. Because Antoine thinks it's good public relations. People will like us more.
Oh. Well, that's stupid. We're supposed to be bad guys. Anyway, Zell would also like to know if we can leave his dimension out of it. Well, as soon as we can find a way to shove you into a very small pocket dimension, we'll do so.
Another question is, were any of you responsible for Transnoble Meltdown?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he can't. This is a closed stream. It's that simple, Bloodletter. Jesus. And no, fuck you. Also, Trashfire, stop sucking cock.
Thank you very much, Trashfire.
Stop sucking his dick. He doesn't need that shit. His ego's big enough as is.
Bloodletter asks, who's your favorite villain? Well, there are no more villains, so...
There are people who were the villains, though, and we can still be nice about it.
Or maybe they're just talking about villains in general, like Bane or...
Well, that's true. If we're talking about favorite proper villains from the old show, then I will have to say Lo-Fi. If we're talking about favorite villains, then I would have to say Venom.
Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
I'm good with Venom. Venom is my favorite.
Why did we have to go with DC? Why would you do that to us?
Because I like Poison Ivy.
What sort of shit show are we running here?
Ugh. Why are you being so judgmental today, Zach?
It's DC! They're awful!
I don't care. I like Poison Ivy.
I don't like Poison Ivy at all. You have to start with Bleach.
You don't have to like her.
You have to
I'm not
start with
asking
Bleach, and then
you.
it's all
It was
bad.
it's her opinion. She can like whatever the fuck she
Her
wants.
opinion is wrong.
Yes, Ren, you can have Zach's room. He's not using it. Ray asks, where is your favorite dumping place for bodies? The ones you don't want to keep.
Antoine's room.
I usually prefer someplace like a volcano.
Antoine's room.
I don't dump bodies.
You're surprisingly non-violent. It's annoying.
He doesn't have much of a sense of smell, so I just put them under his bed.
There's nothing under my...
Have you checked lately?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes, because you're walking around the hideout unchained. I check everything.
You should check again.
God damn it.
I ate recently. Cause I'm willing to know why didn't the cheer answer my question. That's because they keep going past me because they're a bunch of assholes.
My goodness, you're offensive today.
I'm always offensive. The question is whether or not I'm funny, and I am. So, the question was, what do we like? Which of her particular characters we like, right?
Yes.
I mean, I like all of her characters, but let me go back and find her exact options here. Good lord, how far back was it? Stupid things. Everything is broken. I hate it all. That's weird. I don't see it anywhere.
The question was...
Oh, here we go. Well, it really depends on my mood, but I don't really have a preference to any of them. I like all 3 of them.
So basically you gave the same answer that Sarah and I did.
I guess. I would prefer that you don't have my room, but I mean, I suppose. I mean, it's not like I sleep much.
So, but going back to the Halloween thing, is Halloween going to be on a Monday?
According to the calendar, Halloween is indeed going to be on a Wednesday.
I mean, what I usually do is I try and scare the kiddies. So,
I'm just not sure why Kadunta's okay with Renovations taking over my room.
it's so...
That means
it's
there's going to
so
be a
that...
naked Ren in my room.
I
Because
would...
she wants you to sleep in her room.
Yeah, but it's still my room, which I'm still gonna go there, and there's still gonna be a naked Ren in my room. Has Kadunt thought this through? I thought she liked Ren. All right, whatever. It's not my question. It's not my place to question anything. I'm just gonna go to my room now.
You can't. You need to be here.
I have a 16-foot cord. I can go wherever I want.
So Bloodletter asks what I think of Penoid.
Yes. What do you think of Peter?
I think of Penoid.
He's a lovely person. Let's not do this yet.
I was just going to say...
We have a video to plan. We're going to do this on video. Don't spoil it yet.
Can I give my opinion on Penoid? I was just going to say
No.
I think of Penoid the same way I think of all other MGTOW. And that's all I'm going to say on it.
Oh no, but people know. But people are aware of your opinions. God damn it.
They're on my channel. They're damn well aware of my opinions.
Hey, if you're both gonna be naked in my room, I'm also gonna be naked in that room.
Oh, God. That's...
And there's more than enough of my naked to go around.
You know, I'm pretty sure they would rather have Zach naked, depending on if what you said before is true.
Oh, see, I really don't do that sort of thing. That's not really something I go for. I try to avoid messy physical entanglements.
Goodbye, Trashfire. Thank you for coming by.
Bye, trash fire. Don't get hit by a bus.
You are very wound up today, Zach.
I've had a lot of Pepsi.
Perhaps you should stop for the night.
It's really weird because you have to inject the Pepsi into the veins first, and then it gets all fizzy.
Does that tingle?
Well, it tingles them a lot. They scream.
So, Bloodletter apparently wants you naked, Sarah.
No.
When did that happen?
He just said death naked.
That's weird. Why would you want naked death? Where do you even... Oh, death... Well, maybe what he's saying is that he would like to die without clothes on.
I mean, that's a possibility, yeah.
That's really easy. Just take off your pants and charge a police officer.
I really hate it when people die naked.
They'll take care of it for you.
There are some things that should not be seen.
You know, Ren and Kadan, if there aren't pictures in my DM soon, I'm gonna be real upset.
Moxley, do you want to become... Moxley asks, can I get a room or do I still have to sleep on the ceiling? I mean, do you want to become an actual henchman, Moxley? Right now, we're just kind of using you to do things. If you want to become an actual henchman, I'm sure I can find a room for you. Kadant screams, you have more than pictures of me, Drake.
And that somehow negates the fact that I would like more pictures.
I would like pictures. Silence.
Yes, silent. Well, I'm waiting for Moxley's answer.
He
Wait,
likes the ceiling.
Yes, I see that. Well,
No,
then why
sorry.
ask? Then why ask for a room? Kadant is screaming. Then why are you asking for pictures of Ren?
Kadant, why are you screaming so much? We're perfectly capable
I'm
of...
asking for pictures of Ren because you're with Ren. Duh. If you weren't naked with naked Ren, I would not be asking for pictures of naked Ren. This seems fairly simple to me. There are now 2 of you naked.
Yes, Kadant, I do. No, I haven't shown them to anybody, in case that was going to be your next question.
Well, here, since there's not really any questions in the chat, do you two have any questions for me?
No, I won't, Kadant.
Antoine, that is perhaps the poorest choice of words you ever put together in a sentence.
Because I don't want a question from you, Zach.
I'm just saying, you said, do you two have any questions for me?
Yes,
So why would you ask me if I had any questions for you? You know, this is going to get awkward.
because Drake was there.
I don't have any self-control.
Fine, Sarah, do you happen to have any
Fine,
questions?
Kadant, I will. For what?
Do you have any questions for me, since there's no questions in the chat?
Do you actually do something productive other than just run your mouth?
Oh, shots fired. Shade cast.
No,
Oh,
genuine
shit,
question. If he does anything else other than being the host and
Yes.
tormenting Sparky.
with sex. Unwanted sex.
So, I actually keep track of what the ideal is doing. On top of that, I scour the internet for things that I should try and enlighten people with. I add some humor to it. And on top of that, I, find certain people that I find highly entertaining, that I think other people find entertaining. So, that's... I do think... I make plans. Moxley asks, when's his title shot? After you beat me fair and square. To all, what is your favorite form of torture? I lock them in a room with Zach.
That's not actually very torturous, depending on who the person locked in with me is.
A human anarchist.
It really depends on the person.
I like to use acupressure and acupuncture.
I prefer.
Acupuncture, I usually hook something electric up to the needles.
I prefer psychological tortures. The problem with torture is that it rarely works in anything. To do torture properly, you have to have a quantifiable sort of outcome, like bank account codes or things like that. So that way you can be absolutely certain it worked. People under duress will tell you anything to make the duress stop. So what you do is you take, let's just call him prominent businessman A, who has lots of money in a Swiss bank account that you need access to, which requires several different codes in order to get a hold of, and he has the codes. So you kidnap him and you put him in a little room with one-way glass. In the other room, you put his wife and his kids, and then you have them gang raped. And then you tell him that as soon as they give you the right codes and the money transfers over, they'll let your family go. And they'll get to see them put into a nice, safe place inside their own home. And then they'll be killed. You tell them all this outright. So it's a very clean and quick thing. So they know the only real reason they're even alive is to make sure that their family stays alive and doesn't go through any more horrible trauma. And then you just keep on having their family gang raped until they give in.
Ah.
You're the worst sort of person.
You have to have a quantifiable outcome. Without a quantifiable outcome, torture is useless.
Okay, do you have a... Moving on. I don't even want to think about why you know all that, Zach. Do you have a persona, Antoine? Good question. Yes, his name is Bronze. I have the ability to shift my skin to look like a human, so I can blend in. I don't go around looking like this all the time. It's very tiresome. So, I guess you could say I have a secret identity that I just told everyone. Antoine, do you have any powers like death? I am able to shapeshift and extend my limbs into certain objects.
Tentacles. He can manifest tentacles.
And
when he
wings
touches
and claws and weapons. Tentacles are not the only thing I do.
No, but it got you to be more specific now, didn't it?
Kadant wants to be locked in with Zach.
Fine.
Ghost Dog has a very good point. Instead of locking them in a room with Zach, I'll just lock them in a room with Opal. Did I check Twitter? Why am I checking
I
Twitter?
don't actually have any problem with Opal. She seems like a lovely person. We had a good conversation last time.
Ren says she
find
likes
her earlier.
tentacles.
Oh, well, Ren, darling, when we get a chance, I will show you all about the tentacles.
Oh, you gonna fail to do anything again? Bam.
You did just fine. Thank you,
Who did?
Antoine.
You mean before or after the bed broke and everything ended?
Before the bread broke, that's how the bed got broken.
Did you just say before the bread broke?
Before the bed broke, that's how it got broken, was he was doing a good job. Can we drop the topic now?
Bread.
Yes, Ren, I did check Twitter, and thank you very much.
To all, who was the first person you killed that you actually liked? I was about to say I don't make it a point to kill the people I like, but I take that back. There was someone on the other side. There was flirting, a lot of fighting. He's not the most handsome gentleman in the world, but he had the most gorgeous eyes. It was really kind of sad when I snapped his neck.
That's brutal.
It's the job.
Well, as Sarah already kind of pointed out, I'm not necessarily the violent type. I don't do the killing. I guess you could say I plan the killing. I would say
Antoine has a serious dislike of getting his hands dirty.
I would say the one person that I do regret having to kill to make a statement was this very, very nice detective. He was looking into me when I was running around with the villains, and he got rather close to finding us. Unfortunately, the Ideal got a hold of him and got him fired as well, and I had Lo-Fi kill him on the steps of the police station. I feel bad about that sometimes. He was a very nice man.
For me, it was the guy who mentored me. You see, the woman who embraced me in the first place didn't stick around for the aftermath, so I had to find somebody to get a lot of help from. And that was one Richard Grimm. And he was a very nice person. He taught me all about to handle myself in the big city, how to handle my slight psychoses. He was also the leader of the city I was in. We called him the Prince. And it was really fun until I shot him in the face.
Why did you shoot him in the face?
Yes.
I don't know why we did that.
You don't know why you shot someone in the face?
I technically wasn't the one doing the shooting.
Shade shot someone in the face.
Shade definitely shot him in the face.
Why did Shade shoot him in the face?
It's time for a change in city leadership.
So you shot the person who mentored you in the face?
He was the city leader.
Are you now the city leader?
No, he is.
What?
He's a Malkavian.
Ah.
I shot him in the face. He died. He disbelieved he was dead. New leadership.
You really have to teach me this dementation thing.
No.
You have to be mind broken first.
Please, no.
Sarah, what is your opinion on pants?
That depends. Are they too tight or are they comfortable? If they're comfortable, I'm fine with them. If they're too tight, I don't like them.
Optional. always optional for a woman.
I have to agree with Shade on that one.
Loki in the chat says, Antoine's power is raping sex robots? Question mark. Antoine, that looks like a question for you, buddy.
No, that's not my power.
Clearly a question for you.
And I just answered it. It's not my power.
All right.
Uh,
Rude.
Bloodletter says, what's your biggest regret with what happened with the old villains, Antoine? I'm sorry to say that I chased them away. I decided that plans weren't going the way that I wanted, and the ideal was getting close to us, and I decided to get rid of them. And it was a mistake. I wish I wouldn't have. As far as I know, Brockus is somewhere being an interior decorator, I think. That's weird.
I've heard he's very good at it.
And as for the other two, I don't know. I don't know where they are. So that's...
You see what happens when someone says something touching like that? The silence that was there for a moment, Antoine, wasn't immediately filled by some smart-ass comment.
Actually, I was just waiting for everyone to stop vomiting inside my head.
Bloodletter wishes to know what you learned from it.
They're still throwing up.
What I learned from chasing my villains away. Well, that Brockus was an interior decorator all along. He likes pink. I don't understand. Like, an orc that big wants frilly pink things in rooms. It's very, very strange. If you're asking what I learned from chasing away 3 people that I relied on, well, I ended up learning from my mistake, and I found some others that I can rely on. I already owned up to everything that I said before.
This is true. Bren thinks he would have painted everything red.
It might have been red, but he's been alone for a really long time, so that white mixed in could have been something completely different.
You do know that as far as orcs go, if it's painted red, it goes faster, right?
He wasn't really an orc, though. He was orc kin. He became an orc through cybernetic enhancements.
I mean, like I said, though, you know, red makes it go faster. Or wait, he's not the cool kind of orc, is he?
No.
He's not an orc from Warhammer 40k.
No.
He's not really an orc then. Yeah, no, Cinder Shadow's right. You need speed holes.
Speed holes.
What the hell is a speed hole?
Ask Cinder Shadow. He's right there in the chat.
What's a speed hole, Cinder Shadow?
I'm actually quite interested in what a speed hole is.
That's what she said.
Wrong. Silence again.
Well, we're waiting for a reply. So.
Add holes to the orc to make him more aerodynamic.
Well, duh. That's how you work. It lessens down the drag. See, what you do is you get a tentacle monster. And the tentacle monster does what's called all the way through. Those of you who watch tentacle porn know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've done that before.
This allows him to just open his mouth and immediately reduce drag.
Ghost Dog wants to know, Antoine, is the police still after the old villains as well?
As far as I know, yes, the IDL is still looking for them, so they've been escaping capture for right now. As far as I know, I haven't really been able to keep tabs on them. Ren would like to know Pepsi or Coke, Zach?
Oh, Pepsi. I like Coke too. Don't get me wrong, but I tend to prefer Pepsi. It has a better mouthfeel overall.
All right. Where does Kadant stand as a member?
She is a former villain. She was a guest on the. Well, I wouldn't call her a guest. She kind of broke the door open to the broadcast booth and kind of sat down.
She was invited. I invited her.
But she's still hanging around the hideout. She's welcome. I don't have a problem with Kadant.
What's
Water apparently for Moxley is the
Go
drink
ahead.
of champions.
Ray Martinez says, "What's our favorite kind of music from any dimension?" We have a bit of eclectic taste, but generally speaking, we happen to like hard rock and metal, dark trance and electronica, and country.
that?
Did you add country to that?
Yes.
That's a little.
Well, are you
One of
talking?
these things does not belong here.
Are you talking bluegrass country, or are you talking like country?
Like country music?
Like Garth Brooks and Reba McEntire country?
Like Toby Keith and Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson and Jason Aldean. Not the rap version Jason Aldean, the regular Jason Aldean. You know, things like that. Montgomery Gentry.
Okay. I'm completely surprised about that. I mean, I had you pegged for heavy metal and hard rock and things like that, but country was kind of out of the blue. Let's see.
I can look at my iTunes right now. Hold on a minute. Let's see. I have Alan Jackson, Billy Currington, Billy Ray Cyrus, Blake Shelton, Brad Paisley, Chris Young, Craig Morgan, Diamond Rio, Dirk Bentley, Dustin Lynch, George Strait, Jake Owen, Jamie Johnson, John Denver, John Michael Montgomery, Keith Urban, Kenny Chesney, Kit Moore, Lee Bryce, Lone Star, Marty Robbins, Montgomery Gentry, Rodney Atkins, Sammy Kershaw, the Statler Brothers, Stephen Earl, Tex Beneke, Thompson Square, Toby Keith, Trace Atkins, Tyler Farr, Ty Minsky.
Zach,
on here. What?
Zach, we didn't want a rundown.
You shouldn't have said so. Rascal Flatts is good too.
Sarah, what kind of music do you like?
I like a little bit of everything, except for reggae and country, but my primary favorites are usually the type of thing I play. Heavy metal, hard rock, classic rock.
She also likes symphonic metal.
I do very much like symphonic metal. That's actually what the sisters and I perform on a regular basis. And believe it or not, songs from the 40s and 50s. They had a very good sense of lyric back then.
My favorites are any form of rock and most forms of heavy metal. And when it was big in the 90s, that rock rap stuff, I really enjoyed that. That's what came out with the computer around that time. Antoine, do you still have some of the orc blood in the fridge? Zach, do I still have orc blood in the fridge?
I was thirsty, but probably.
Well, that answers that question. Zach, how do you feel about DC right now?
Fuck them.
Okay.
That's pretty accurate.
Ghost Dog says to all favorite movie.
Oh, that's really difficult.
I
All three of us have a problem with that, because we like a lot of different movies. Generally speaking, though, B-movie creature flicks. We're pretty big on those.
Those are good.
If you put on Tremors 1 through 6, we will shut up and watch.
Note to self.
The only problem with that is that we will also quote the entirety of it. The other thing, though, is that we're also big fans of The Princess Bride, which is a fantastic movie. Also, anything to do with Monty Python or anything to do with Rowan Atkinson.
All good choices. All good choices.
We like British comedy.
Sarah, what's your favorite movie?
Let's see. really don't have a favorite movie. Oh, I take that back. I do have a favorite movie. Scrooge. Every year around Christmas time, my father and I would sit down and watch it. It's my absolute favorite. One of my best memories.
Okay. Mine is a classic. It was the very first blockbuster. My favorite is Jaws.
Good one.
Bloodletter says, so your thoughts on Eminem? I think he's lost his goddamn mind.
I like old school Eminem. New Eminem, I'm not really into. I
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to his politics. I don't really give a shit. I listen to the music, and the new music just doesn't grab me as much as it used to.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
it'll
old
change
stuff
in a
is
month.
good. The old stuff is good.
Maybe my mind will change in a month, but right now I'm just not as big a fan.
I have no opinion on Eminem.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Antoine? What are your thoughts on Justin Bieber trying to get American citizenship?
Fuck cat.
I don't care about Justin Bieber. Is he still around? Is he still doing things?
Can we trade? Can we trade Justin for Ryan Reynolds?
You know what? That would be great.
Real quick, I watch lots of Mel Brooks. Just unfortunately, I don't have any of his DVDs with me right now. They're all in storage. Whereas I have lots of British comedy and whatnot on my laptop. For Ghost Dog, who's saying to watch Mel Brooks. I've watched almost every Mel Brooks movie there is, with the exception, and I know I'm going to get flack for this, but I've never actually seen Young Frankenstein.
It was very good.
I know, I just haven't seen it yet. Back to the questions.
Okay. From Bloodletter, is Death in a band?
Yes, I am. The other sisters and I are in a band called, surprisingly enough, the Four Sisters of the Apocalypse. I'm the drummer.
Zach,
She plays with sticks all day.
Kadanta's screaming at Zach again. How do you feel about DC after the Harley stuff I have?
I like you in the DC stuff. I don't particularly appreciate DC. My opinion hasn't changed.
Cinder Shadow, Drake, you could probably answer this if you want. Is asking, since the orc blood, I guess, is missing, you drank some of Brockus.
Only in his wildest dreams, and when he's done, he better wake up and fucking beg for forgiveness.
Okay. Bloodletter asks, Zach, I'm sorry, Drake, are you in a one-man band?
No. I am not, nor have I ever been musically inclined.
Is Shade or Zach musically inclined?
No, we are terrible with instruments of all kinds.
Except instruments of death?
Yeah, basically.
Leave my drums alone!
Why would I touch your drum? You know what? I'm gonna go put my nutsack on your drums.
Oh, God. Ray asks, to all your favorite vices.
A good
Well,
fight.
For us, it would depend entirely upon which of us you were asking.
Says to all. Zach,
Um,
what is your favorite vice?
Like, are we talking about like 7 deadly sins, or just like just vices in general?
I'm assuming just vices in general.
I'm a fan of staying in my room and reading books and being lazy.
Whereas my favorite vice is usually before all this, it was probably smoking and drinking. I'm a big fan of sex now, though. I can go for hours now. It's that whole vampiric stamina thing. And as for me, it's just killing. That's the only vice I have these days. Absolute, outright, no questions asked murder. You should all fucking try it sometime.
Well, as I was starting to say, a good fight, or for something more peaceful, an excellent meal while reading a book. I've actually become very fond of that since I came here. I'm not so busy anymore. It's lovely.
I would have to say my vices are, well, like kind of like Drake, sex. It's wonderful. But other than that, like just a fun one. Bad shark movies. I don't know why, but I can sit down and watch just horrible bad shark movies. I love them.
Is it because they smile like you?
Well, never really thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. Can we get computing forever instead of Justin Bieber? You know, we can get anybody instead of Justin Bieber. I would take the bum down the street that lives near Justin Bieber over Justin Bieber.
You take Lena Dunham over Justin Bieber?
Take that back. I take that
Yeah.
back. Is she She's not Canadian. She's American.
It doesn't matter. You said you take anyone.
In Canada.
It doesn't matter. You said anyone. You didn't caveat with Canada, so you're saying you'd rather have Lena Dunham in your bed than Justin Bieber in
I didn't say anything about in bed. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh my God, Antoine wants to sleep with Lena Dunham.
No, no one should sleep with Lena Dunham.
Terrible tentacle things to Lena Dunham's girly parts.
Ugh.
Everyone heard you say it.
Jack, I don't have anything in my stomach. I don't have a stomach, but you're going to make it come out.
In the chat, please confirm that you heard that Antoine wants to do terrible sexual things with full consent from Lena Dunham.
Loki wants to know if you like the Sharknado movie.
I like Sharknado 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 was great. 4 was nothing but old Hollywood cameos and like